Pyongyang's latest missile launches, technical details. For analysis, let's bring in weapons expert Melissa Hanham. Melissa joins us now live. And Melissa, pictures of the missile launch, they were released today by North Korean state media. You and your fellow analysts have been just poring over these photos. What did you see? What did they reveal?
Well, the photos we've received so far are still a little bit grainy, but it looks like what these are probably extended range Scud missiles. So these are relatively reliable missiles, but they have an extra range that typical Scuds that North Korea has used in the past don't have.
You've identified these as extended range Scud missiles. This is what was fired or test fired on Monday. And today, we know that the THAAD missile defense system arrived in South Korea. How effective would that system be in the event of another missile test?
Well, the radar will be useful in detecting the missiles, and they'll be able to start practicing how they may intercept. The activity that's happening now is interesting for us to study because it's not so much about the technology of the missile. They've tested this kind of Scud ER before. It's more about how the humans part of the problem are being utilized. So at this point, they're testing the units on how to deploy them in the field. They're actually practicing on what it would be like to have a war. So we're actually learning more about how North Korea would prepare to set up and launch these missiles. The THAAD radar will give them some information about that after the missiles are launched, and they'll also be practicing on how to intercept them.
Got it. So it was not just a practice for the technology, but also for the act of deployment itself. And given what you know about North Korea's weapons technology, do you think North Korea could outsmart the THAAD system, especially by doing what it tested on Monday, firing multiple rockets at the same time?
That's definitely what they're trying to do. You know, ballistic missile defense systems are still new and relatively untested, no matter what kind of system you're talking about. They go through a series of tests, but in any test, you know where the missile's going to be and when it's going to be there when the intercept happens. In a real-life war situation, you don't have that benefit of foreknowledge. And so launching, as they did last year, 3 at once and now 4 at once, what they're trying to do is overwhelm the capability of the South Koreans to respond in the interception phase of the ballistic missile defense.
And as such, North Korea is making progress on its missile program. We know it's out to develop an ICBM that could reach the United States. North Korea has also conducted 5 nuclear tests. So, Melissa, how close is North Korea to attaching a warhead to a missile and delivering it to a target?
Well, they've shown us through photographs and videos that they have essentially all the components they need to build an ICBM. They haven't actually tested one yet, but we know from defectors, high-level defectors, that Kim Jong-un wants a test in 2017. It's likely that we will see a test. It's also likely that that test will fail. Whether they would be crazy enough to attach a warhead to that, I don't care to hypothesize. You know, in the past, countries have done that. China, for example, in 1964, put a live nuclear warhead on a missile, which it flew over populated areas. There's no way for those on the outside to know the difference between a test like that and an act of war. North Korea doesn't have the territory that China did, for example. So I hope that they would never do something like that, but there is a fear that that is something they would want to do, especially as the West continues to go to North Korea to prove its capabilities. We're definitely seeing them ramp up in their propaganda, demonstrating. So, for example, when we said, well, they don't have a reentry vehicle, there's no way they could have an ICBM, they started doing reentry simulations and demonstrating them for us as proof. So what I really hope doesn't happen is that we goad them into testing something like that.
Absolutely. We want to avoid that scenario completely. Melissa Hanham, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program. Take care.